Falco, the artist poet on this server, and I wanted to go ahead and take a moment to share something that most of us don't really actually think about when we build our camps and our bases. I am playing on a PvP official server, North America, PlayStation 4. Um, and my general rule is that if you are playing as a solo player on a PvP official server or any PvP server, don't build a base. Don't build a humongous big ass camp. It puts a big old target on your head for one thing, unless you're looking for the challenge of having to defend, 100 meters, by 100 meters, 10,000 meter square space, all by yourself. So there are some people out there who have done it on because servers have rises and falls in activity that lulls in battles and things like that. Alliances get made, and then eventually people get bored and they break them. But I wanted to talk about building the most efficient space possible. Now this is the interior of my one and only shop that I have. It's a shop. Built it up against the wall, so I have this nice solid uh, back space here that I don't have to worry about anybody breaking into the back of that. But these are all just flimsy, thin tier one walls and ceiling. Eventually, I'm going to go ahead and upgrade these to the honeycomb or the actually I would call it the laminate method because they say honeycombing, which is where you put uh, you'll put like foundations. Like you see, there's a fence foundation right here. Then there's a foundation piece. They'll put another fence foundation piece right there. Uh, and there's ways to do that. They call it honeycombing, but it's actually laminating because you're making composite structures to work together for that mutual strength. The other thing that I do is I put my door up high, so that if they do blast through the wall, I mean, a bomb's going to take this out super easy. But once I upgrade this level, this shop, uh, it will draw some attention, and I'll then may have to make sure that I do everything as efficiently as possible. Now, technically speaking, I could go ahead and probably fit a wheel of paint in here. Getting thralls up to this area is going to be difficult because I chose a place that's kind of up and out of the way. You kind of either have to know about it already in advance or know that it's a spot that people like myself will take, uh, or as a spot yourself will take, or you just happen to be just wandering the map because there's nothing really to do. But anyway, back to the point of the video. All right, so here we have our basic water fountain and pool of refreshment, uh, which is awesome because you can, get refreshed right here. Um, this is my this is just a chest. Now, I typically don't recommend putting chests that have anything of value in them on top of other structures, simply because, like I said, if someone were to come in here, they could wipe this and send me back to the desert, and probably less than 6 bombs. Uh, so what happens is that they'll go ahead and they'll attack this fountain. Let me see if I can find my repair hammer because it doesn't have a lot on it, and I have to do something real fast here. I'm gonna go ahead and drop this doodad right here. This is okay. I can actually I'll put it right about there. Okay. So I'm just gonna put this guy here temporarily because I have another plan for him. And give me a minute. I'm not exactly sure what it means. It might just be a PlayStation thing, but every time I get a text message or a PlayStation message of any kind, um, my game lags up on me, which is not fun. Plus, also, you have an inventory that is this big. It's going to be kind of a problem. Let's see if we can get some water on this. Yes, we can. Excellent. All right, so I'm going to check this message real fast. We'll be right back. Sorry, guys. I wanted to talk about this. Okay, so this has a 1200 hit point on it. Contrasting a fluid press. Climbing it is a pain. It's a bit awkward. Um, the large repair chest has 25,000. Now, effectively, because I put this large repair chest on top of the fountain, that large chest has a 12,000 hit points. Everything in here basically has 12,000 hit points because if this fountain breaks, everything in here basically falls apart. So you got 2,500 for the beehives, 2,500 for the fish trap. You get 2,500 for the planter, 10,000 for the composter. You get 10,000 for that. So 1,200 for the fountain. Now, like I said, protecting the fountain is going to be a matter of protecting the entire base itself. Basically, you when you're playing a PvP server, if you're playing on an active server where people are breaking and entering and looting you while you're off game or whatever else, then yeah, it's going to be to your benefit to want to build something that is not like massively big. Again, I'm talking from the perspective of a solo player. You don't want to build anything that's going to be like humongous, um, but you kind of also want to you want to make sure that you build it in the best way possible. So the plan today will be to. I'm trying to fuss the chest in there. It's kind of like there we go. No, it's not going to do that. It's weird how it's like you can't stack it like right on top of each other. Ooh, I almost had it. Almost had it. Let's go to first person. Makes it easier. Okay, there we go. So, yeah, you can put chests You can put chests in the fountain. Uh, I think a bomb does about 1,000 points to it. I think. I'm not sure. Okay, why am I? Because I'm like, okay, yeah, that's the reason. They really need to work with that idea. Oh, come on. Okay, here we go. Let's get right on top of it then. Watch me sit here, finagle. Alright. Okay, I guess I'm gonna go for that. Or not. Weird. Why wouldn't it let me fucking... There we go, try that. There we go, perfect. Alright, I'm gonna lock that down. Now I can go ahead and just put all that in there. Nice. Okay, and then we're gonna grab the bottom chest. It's just really, really, really being laggy right now, and I don't know why that has to be the case, because it's just frustrating. Okay, my horse is really the thing that's in the way here. Yeah, here we go. Alright, let's get out of that first person. So I'll throw this in here. So, yeah, so you can actually squeeze a hell of a lot in here. Into the space, and like I said, the problem is that whatever you put at the bottom, that's going to be the hit point for any other container on top of it. And I'm actually making the job for the raider a lot easier by doing this. But if you have protected your base enough so that getting into the base is going to be a problem, because I mean, really, like I said, once they get in, that's pretty much it, unless you've got things hidden underneath the floorboards and stuff like that, because if you've got if you use the arena building materials, because if you use the Aquilonian, because the top of the Aquilonian foundation looks the same as the ceiling tile, but I mean, any raider worth their merit is going to raid with a repair hammer, so they're going to know instantly. They're looking at oh, well, this is a foundation. Oh, this is a wall. Okay, they're going to know instantly what's going on. Plus, also, if there's any damage that's deep in, you can also tell if the building structure is basically laminated or composite structures. I'll say honeycomb just because it's colloquialism. But you'll be able to tell that it's honeycomb because when you put a bomb here, the foundation is going to blow, the wall's going to blow, and if the wall doesn't actually blow apart, say this is a T3 wall, okay? Let's say the foundation's a tier 2, the wall's T3, and behind it is another tier 3 foundation. what happens is that all three structures actually will take damage. So you will see three indicators that show that there's damage done. You'll see instantly that behind that wall there is something else. There's another item, a foundation. They'll actually say so on your. It'll say on your repair hammer what it is. Um, so yeah. Now, I think repair hammers are great in showing us, who owns things, because that's also important. If you're on a map that's running around, you're trying to make sure you don't bomb your allies, and you're not really talking with them very often. Like, say, for instance, well, actually, on this map, I have been contacted by a couple of the up-and-coming clans, and I've already told them that I've been on this server for about 18 months, and I don't really pay attention to the carnage, but I see a lot of names come and go. So they are pretty much they know that I am not interested in actually going out there and actively aggroing things. Now, again, I'm going to talk about why I was on the PvP server to begin with. And it's so it's like, what they went around with the repair hammer, they can see, oh no, this is artist poet stuff. He's we're not going to bother with his shit. And it's based on your actual it is based on your actual gamer tag, so it's not like you can cheese it by making somebody, making a character and naming it after somebody else. Now, I do know that it's a psych game a lot of times where people will go ahead and name themselves in a variation after the clan that they're harassing. I've seen a lot of it, but anyway. So yeah, just kind of want to share real quick that the water fountain, the pool of refreshment, it does have some of the higher hit points as far as placeables are concerned. And I think that's because it is, it's 10,000 here and 2,500. Actually, the crude planner actually has more. It's 2,500 points versus pool of refreshment. I wonder if I could put a pool of refreshment on top of a planter. Because, effectively everything on top of it's going to be, 10,000 points. So that might be something to try out later on. Anyway, just a quick drop. Wanted to go ahead and let you guys, see what was going on here. We're already starting to get fish. This is awesome. I'm gonna put those guys in here. I'll probably keep the pool of refreshment going. I do have a couple of fish traps down the side of the mountain that are not covered or protected, so people will be looting them. I'm pretty sure they have. I've not checked my logs recently, but that's kind of all I wanted to share with you guys. So be careful if you're stacking placeables for efficiency, for space-wise. Be careful, because whatever placeable everything is stacked on, that is the hit points for everything above it. And when that placeable goes, everything's going to go. And that, because most times you'll attack the foundations, it'll take a while, but more times than not, the foundations will stick around. And let's see, here we go. Yeah, 10,000 for that foundation, 1,200 for the full of refreshment. All they got to do is chip the foundations up. So yeah, and of course, if you're playing a solo, totally recommend building small. Maybe even building multiple small camps. It's kind of a strategy that I've seen a lot of solo players do. It does work. I mean, I've been in this spot for, I want to say since January, probably. Yeah, I think I've been in this spot since January and haven't been raided or wiped yet. So probably going to happen pretty soon. It's starting to get active again on the server. There's people showing up and building. And like I said, they break through the wall, just yeah, they're going to get everything else. So spread your stuff out if you're a solo player. Even if you're a large clan, spread your stuff out, but don't build some massive Fort Knox kind of structure, because unless you're really trying to bait enemies into that area, maybe you've got, you build a nice giant, structure. You put a couple of small wheels of paint in there, because a small wheel of paint sounds just the same as a large wheel of paint. And but then, instead of putting, all these multiple wheels of paint in there, you just put like one in there just enough to get the sound going. But then the rest of the space inside is just nothing but combat thralls. Now, in the past, you could do that, and I've seen people do that, and I've been in clans where we have done that, where we deliberately baited a griefer, and they would just get annihilated by this cloud of thralls. Can't really do that so much right now because you're limited to 55 thralls per clan at full capacity clan. Um, so yeah, and it's an effort to get them all in there, get them equipped and everything else. And if your raiders or griefers are clever enough, they can gas them, and then you have to put in basks and there's all this other stuff. Acid arrows will fuck them up and things like that. So, but anyway, that's all for now, guys. Hope you had fun, and I'll be back with some more tips and tricks, maybe, possibly, or just some rants. Who knows? Laters.